something to say, there's something to say.
Okay everybody, how's it going? Our House 21 here, and it's time for the final installment of my XO-1 bearing swap video series. Now, just a quick recap. You guys, hopefully you've been following along with the series, but you'll see that I've already gone through, done a quick overview of the bearings that are in XO-1, and then delved into the changing out of the bearings on the front clip, on the rear clip, and on the chassis. So the only thing that's left to do now is just to unite everything back together and put it back, put it back in running condition. And this is a really straightforward, simple process, like I mentioned. So again, change it out with the Boca bearing orange seal ceramic bearings, and it's actually not a bad job. It's just a little time intensive because you can do this quickly, you really can, but for the purpose of me doing this video, I took my time at it because I wanted to make sure I showed you guys, every step along the way, and and I, just wanted to, take my time to make sure that I didn't miss anything. So, like I said, if you want to do this quickly, I'm sure that you can probably do this in maybe even a half or a quarter of the time, but it's kind of hard to be instructional and be fast. So that's all I'll say about that. So let me go ahead and jump into this here. So putting this guy back together is real easy, because the XO-1, like I said, is a descendant of the Slash, and the Slash is made for really quick field serviceability. So it's very simple. You have 7 screws on the front, 6 screws on the back. So I'll go ahead and I'll put the back end on first, just because I feel in that kind of mood. So, all right. So turning the car around like this. So I'm actually going to do the screws up top first, just to make it a little bit easier for me to line it up later. So just adjusting it on my pit stand, and you can turn the drive shaft to line it up, and it just pops right in place, just like on the Slash. And then you need to make sure that your tunnels line up properly, which they do now. So now I'm just going to secure the top 2 screws to hold it together. And like I said, these, I mentioned before, you've got button head screws on this car, and they all go on the inner chassis, so basically the top side of the car. And then you have basically beveled screws on the bottom, and they're countersunk screws, and they go in on, like I said, the bottom side of the car. So it's pretty straightforward. So I'm just getting this screw started by hand. There it is. I'll do this next one, just start it by hand, same process. All right, started. Use this tool just to drive it home. Okay, I like to do the grunt work with the hand tool, and then just do the finish tightening here. Yep, that's perfect. Here. All right, so rear is kind of sort of there. So let's just go ahead and flip it and finish it up. So you see the other 4 screws right there. So for these guys, the 2 rear screws, you see these are smaller holes. So the 2 rear screws are actually these 3 by I think they're like 3 by 25s or something like that. They're a long screw. So I just want to line this guy up and get it in. And of course, that being a smaller screw is the 2mm size. So you have to work with this one a little bit just to get it in there. get it started. Actually, I'm going to start with the two up front because I think that may be the easier to line up. And I'm going to do it like this. Put a little bit of weight on it. And that will help me. There we go. So that started. Now these other two should be easier to start. Okay, there we go. Sometimes these guys look a little wonky when they're trying to find the holes. No, what's that, intimidation? Okay. Alright, so I think that's good for starting the holes. Now let me get my power tool. One. Two. Three. And four. All right. So the rear clip is actually back on. Aren't you excited? All right, so now let's go ahead and just dive into the front. And again, really straightforward here. Line it up. Just slides underneath. Everything slides in place. The hardest part with this thing is just lining up the drive shaft. So just find that guy, get it in. Maybe turn this a little bit, just make sure it lines up. Perfect. All right. So this is probably better to have the car actually have weight on the wheels. That. And again, the front clip uses some longer button head screws. Just a little pressure here, and get the screw started. Come on, you can do it. There we go. Probably should close up that servo box or receiver box, shouldn't I? There it is. All right. Just starting it like so. Now I can use this guy to drive it down. One. Two. Oh, actually, I have two more big ones on the bottom. So take it, turn it around like so. There we go. So two big guys right there. other two big guys over there. So let's go ahead and start these guys up. Perfect. Nice. Two more down here. And right here. Okay. All right, and now to reconnect the servo. All right. Okay, so this just connects. Oh, duh. This goes in here. Line it up. Okay. So now, let's just go back in. Just check everything manually. Okay, that's good. All right, so while I'm doing this, the job's basically over. So this, again, like any of these jobs, it was not a really fast process, but it wasn't a hard process. Like I said, I'm pretty sure that if you were focused and cranking, you could probably accomplish this job in a much shorter amount of time. But, you know, I took my time with it, and I feel like I did a thorough job. Now, general impressions about installing this kit, it wasn't too bad. It was actually pretty nice. You know, the XO-1 is a pretty straightforward, easy car to work on. So, and it gets that from its Slash DNA. So there's a lot of bearings kind of stuck down in a lot of places. I think probably the toughest part of the whole process was actually inside of the servo saver here, just making sure that, you know, just making sure that you didn't inadvertently do something and break one of these posts up here. But all in all, it's not a bad process. The one thing that still bothers me though is after installing this entire kit, I've got one leftover bearing, and I'm pretty sure I didn't miss anything. But I'm second guessing myself now because I went in, I did everything, but I've got one random bearing. So if you guys watch the video and you see how I missed something, let me know. So I don't know. It doesn't seem to make sense that Boca would just give me a spare. But to me, these are the ones that were inside the front axles. I double checked. There's one in each of the front corners. There is one supporting the hub here, or supporting the pinion inside of the rear differential. There's two here supporting the drive shaft. I don't know where another one of these guys would go. So if you saw I missed something, let me know, because I'm a little baffled, and I don't like being baffled about something that should be straightforward. So, you know, just comment on this video, let me know where I missed it. But like I said, other than the fact that I have to search for the missing bearing, you know, it was a pretty good process. You know, I have no complaints. I guess it's possible that maybe that bearing goes inside of the motor. I don't know. Actually, I need to research that one, because that just seems odd that I have one bearing left over. But anyway, general impressions, the bearing installation was not bad. It was a good process. And the next step along the way is to go ahead and power this guy back up and do the bearing benchmarking video. So for that, you're going to see me, same as usual, wire it up. I'm going to only do it with a 3S pack to match what I did before. And just fire this bad boy down, collect the data. So I'm going to do a break-in run like I did before. I'm going to run a complete pack through to try to get the bearings nice and well worn, and then do the full run with the with the SMC pack, same pack I did the last time, and just get the data, and then compare that data, and we'll see what the difference is, if there's any. But if this bearing set is anything like the last bearing sets that I've gotten from SMC, not SMC, I'm sorry, but this bearing set is anything like the last bearing sets that I've gotten from Boca, there should be a substantial difference. So I'm looking forward to quantifying it and seeing how it really stands up. All right, guys, thank you for persevering and or sticking with me through this entire process. I hope you guys found this useful. I know a lot of guys, before you're willing to really delve into a model, especially a model that is expensive and has the air that this one does, it is a little intimidating, but it's really straightforward. There's nothing to be too concerned about. Like I said, it's a member of the Slash family, and the Slash family is made to be serviceable, and this is Traxxas Tough. So I think that this shouldn't be too bad. They did a really good job engineering this vehicle, so it's not bad to work on at all. Just stay organized and everything will be good. All right, guys. So like I said, I hope you guys found this useful. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. As always, remember the mantra: fly, fix, fly, break it, fix it, do it all over again. Don't forget to check me out on Facebook and Instagram and all the other social media outlets. And remember to get out there, like I said, break it, fix it, and do it all over again. Our House 21 signing out. Peace.